Good evening, family, friends, haters. Welcome back to another episode. Except you haters, y'all ain't welcome back, but you're back anyway. Just like roaches, the light's on, y'all gonna scatter. But anyway, thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for your support. And I am back with another episode. Today is still Monday, March 18th, 2024. And I hope everyone is doing well. I am off, truck parked. I'm looking around enjoying the beautiful scenery, which ain't much. Ain't like no riverside or something. But anyway, it is a beautiful day out here. Wind blowing, clear blue skies. Them birds that be pooping on your car flying around everywhere, them big white birds. So you gotta watch out for them. They'll poop on your head too. So I am back again with another episode. And this one, I'm piggybacking off my video before this one, earlier today, when I said it's the best time in history to be a man. Well, guess what? It's also the best time in history to be a woman. Probably a better time to be a woman than it is to be a man. Because women have come from a more oppressive background than men have. Women have been oppressed longer than men. Even while slavery was over in America and black men had more freedom, the women were still oppressed. Even as the men were gaining more freedom, the women still had issues with the law, society, rules, things of that nature, right? And we always hear, hold on. What was that? We always hear about how women were back in the day, right? Our grandma and them, and how it was, and grandma didn't act a fool, and grandma wasn't like the women are nowadays, right? And like, as if grandma had it great. Like grandma was truly happy back then. Some were. I'm not saying this is not all women. Okay. I'm hoping we done got better in that area where I ain't gotta keep saying not all, but we'll see. I'm gonna see if y'all caught on yet when I'm talking about something, I'm not talking about all. Hopefully, I haven't seen that in a while. Not all big boys, not all women, not all men. So it's looking like y'all been following me long enough now to know I ain't gotta keep on saying not all before every video. I'm gonna see how long they're gonna last. See if we're gonna make it through this video without somebody saying not all. We gonna see. So we like to talk about, especially men, just some men talk about how it was back in the old days when I was a little boy, and how the women were back then, grandma and great grandma, how they had morals and they didn't walk around half naked like these women are. They didn't do this, they didn't do that, and blah, 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 right? We leave out an important factor: oppression. A lot of things that grandma and them didn't do back then, a lot of the time, grandma and them stayed around and stuck and stayed married 40, 50 years back then. And we think it because grandma and them were just such great women, and they loved Willie Earl, Mr. Johnny, Floyd, Kingfish, all them old men back in the day that I remember, Big Joe. We thinking grandma and them loved them so much. That's why they stayed married for so long. Y'all know me by now. Big War gonna keep it real with you on both sides. That's why pretty much everybody hate me. Women hate me and men hate me. Not all y'all. I know a lot of y'all rock with me, but I got haters on both sides. Grandma them didn't love Willie Earl like we think she did. See, we were little kids, and we went in grown folk business because back then they told us we had to stay out of grown folk business. So we really didn't know what was really going on. So while we now got this delusional idea, a concept of how it was in the sweet by and by in the good olden days, how it was much better than it is now. The women was much better quality than they are now. This is what happened. Agree with me or not, just follow along anyway. The women back then were oppressed. They stayed with Willie Earl, Willie James. A lot of men with Willie in their name back then for some reason. Willie Lee. Like I remember all of them, shoot on them. Seemed like it. Old Floyd, Johnny. You know, the granddaddy names. Miss Pearlie Mae stayed with Willie Earl. Miss Fannie stayed with Willie Lee. Gloria Jean stayed with Johnny. Miss Cora stayed with Pete because she couldn't go nowhere. They weren't allowed to work, vote. And if they did work somewhere, the system was set up to make sure they ain't hardly make no money to be able to do nothing. The system was in favor of men over women. Even the black men had it better than black women. Even though the black man was oppressed too in America, he wasn't as oppressed as the black woman because the black woman had the system against her and her man. So now, imagine, fellas, in this day and age right here, 2024, you married, and you know your wife got kids by another man around the corner. Imagine that. Your wife got kids she got a whole other family by a man around the corner or 2 blocks over. And you know it. You know she got it. Imagine that, fellas. And you want to leave, you hurt, you devastated, but you can't leave. The system is designed and set up to where even though you know this is going on, you ain't able to leave even though you want to. Where you going? You don't have any money. You can't afford, even if you're willing to put in work and work hard, they won't allow you to. So you gotta stay there with her. You gotta hang in there. Where you gonna go? That's what women were dealing with back then. That's why I say now is the best time ever in history for a woman. Just like I said it was earlier for a man, but for different reasons. Now, women are able to make their own money. A lot of times, women are making more money than men. They're able to have their own businesses. A lot of times, women got more businesses than men. Education. Now they can go to college and get education, so forth and so on. They're able to be self-sufficient, independent, in a position where they really don't need a man. That's why they're so proud to say that. I don't need no man. Because Back in the day when they needed a man, the man put his foot on their neck. We as kids have a different memory of how it was back then. We thought it was great because we had to stay out of grown folk business, so we didn't know how bad it really was. And grandma wasn't talking. She wasn't gonna tell us. Grandma wasn't gonna tell me. I'm a kid. It ain't my business. That's why you have women saying, because their mamas told them how it was, or they saw what their mama went through that we as little boys didn't see. Some of us as little boys did see it. Some of us did see our mama getting beat up by granddad, our grandmama getting beat up by granddad, pushed over. See, it was a time back then where if grandma talked back, he'd go upside her head. And nothing happened. He don't go to jail, nothing. So quite naturally, the women were more submissive because she would get her ass whooped if she wasn't. Y'all follow me? So that's why, even though for different reasons, this is the best time in history to be a woman. Because now, as I said, you can't just go upside her head no more if she say something that you don't like. You can't do that no more. She got her own money. So you can't just have a whole family around the corner by another woman on your wife and she got to stay there and take it. She ain't got to do that no more. If you talking to her crazy, beating her up, or any other bad behavior, she able to leave you now. And be, a lot of times, doing better without you than she was doing with you. Now we like to say, they wild though, Big Ward. They running loose, man. Even if they got their freedom, they ain't got to act the way they acting though. They running loose like they ain't used to nothing. They wild, promiscuous, loose. Like they done went crazy. What that got to do with anything? I'm glad you asked. I don't want to compare women. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not comparing women to dogs or saying women are dogs. I'm using this example as an illustration to prove a point, to show you what's going on with the behavior of the modern woman now that she's strong, independent, free, self-sufficient. While she's running loose and wild like the way she is, acting like, I'm free. I'll tell you why. Whether you believe it or not, from the amoeba, the cell, the DNA, whatever, from microscopic organisms all the way up to us, all the way through dogs, cats, lions, tigers, bears, whatever you want to call it. This is all the animal kingdom, including humans. We're animals too. So, we're not dogs. I'm not comparing a woman to a dog. A woman is not a dog. But we are species just like a dog. We're animals just like a dog is an animal. Human beings are animals. We are mammals too. If y'all took science, if y'all paid attention, wasn't asleep. We're mammals. A dog is a mammal. Anybody that grew up back in the day when I was a little boy, in the South, some people still do that, but they put you in jail now for that. But it was normal, especially in the black community when we were growing up, to have a dog named King, Spot, Rex, to name a few common names of dogs in the black community back then. It was common to see King tied up in the backyard on a chain this long, with just enough slack to get to the water bowl, and a lot of times didn't have no water in it. We're feeding them bones instead of dog food, eating bones and scraps and all that type stuff, dog food here and there. But he tied up his whole life on a chain by this long in the backyard. on side of a doghouse with a hole in the roof. Whether it be 100 degrees outside or 10 degrees below zero, king tied up in that backyard on a chain this long. Right? Follow me now. But did y'all notice, every now and then, king will break loose from the chain, right? And when king got loose from that chain, what did he do? He run wild. Just run loose. He free. He ain't used to freedom. King get loose from that chain, he act a goddamn fool. Turning shit over, tearing shit up, digging holes, running wild. Somebody go get King. Get King. He broke loose again. King act a goddamn fool when he break loose from that chain. Because he's so used to being chained up, he ain't know how to act with freedom. Ladies, I'm not comparing y'all to a dog or to King. I'm just using that as an illustration or an example. Women were oppressed for so long throughout history, not just in America in the 50s and 60s and 70s, throughout the entire existence of mankind, women have been oppressed. Even when the men were free, women were oppressed. Now, in these last 30, 40 years, women finally got some freedom. It's like they just broke loose from that chain. Now they enjoying this newfound freedom that they ain't never had throughout history. Now they trying to get the most of it, because they don't know how long it's gonna last, how long they gonna live. They ain't had it for long. They just adjusting to it. Freedom. After being tied up on the chain their entire existence that was about this long. Called systematic oppression. So that's why I say now is the best time in history for a woman. Is it perfect? No, it ain't perfect for nobody. But women are doing better now than they have ever done in the entire existence of mankind. To us, it looked like they wild, loose, promiscuous, combative, all the bad characteristics we say they have. When all actuality, they were rebelling against their oppressor, the men. Now, a lot of y'all are going to come against me. Oh, big war, there you go. I thought you was, they came against you. I thought you was against the women. I ain't never been against the women. I ain't never been against the men. I'm just telling the truth. I agree that women are off the chain nowadays. And notice the word I just said, off the chain. Y'all be saying, man, these women off the chain nowadays. Just like King. To be off the chain, that means that one time you was on a chain. Let me repeat that because it went over somebody's head. For us to say women are off the chain nowadays, that implies that at one time women were on a chain. And they were. Women were chained up. An invisible chain that was put there by society. You couldn't see the chain, but it was there. Women were chained up. Willie Earl had a whole family around the corner and grandma couldn't go nowhere. Grandma was broke. And society made sure she stayed broke. Y'all ever heard the term, keep them barefoot and pregnant? They're all for a reason, to make sure she'll never be able to sustain without that man. So therefore he can do whatever he want to do and she couldn't do nothing about it. It was a system. There was a system put in place to oppress women, just like there was a system in place to oppress black people in America. It was a system. And most people that were against black people played by that system, but you had some that wasn't for it, and that's how the system crumbled. There was a system put in place to oppress women, but everybody wasn't okay with that system. That's how the system failed. But y'all can sit up here and pretend to act like it wasn't there all you want to. I'm going to tell the truth, the brutal, honest truth, even if it's a truth that I don't like, even if it's a truth that go against what I want. It's still the truth. So women, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I agree with how they are nowadays, because I don't. But I understand. I understand how they get to where they are now. Their mothers, grandmothers, great-grandmothers were chained up. And finally now, they are free. They're off the chain. The chain been broken. Now, they're trying to enjoy everything they couldn't enjoy for years. They trying to, I can do what I want to do, be who I want to be, but I can be with the man I want to be with. I ain't got to be stuck with this man even though I don't want him no more. I can find the man I want, or no man at all. I ain't got to be bothered with the man I don't want to. They never had it like that. So to us, it's messed up as men. It's not how we like it. We liked it how it was back then. But did they like it? We weren't concerned about did the women like it. It didn't matter if they liked it. We liked it. But now, tables have turned. Just like we got a God, they got a God. Are they doing right with the freedom they have? That ain't what this video is about, whether they doing right or wrong with the freedom. I'm just telling you what happened to why we say that women are off the chain, because they are off the chain. Off the chain that they were once on the chain. Placed there by a male-dominant society. Oh, there go Big Ward again. Big Ward, you done failed weak again, man. Oh, man, I'm going to have to unsubscribe. I'm going to have to unsubscribe, Big Ward. Do y'all see where I am? As I have to tell y'all over and over again. You hear that? Unsubscribe. It's going to be all right. Get it? Got it? Good. Bye.